and Mopso from Italy. There you go.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Andrea Danielli, CEO and founder of Mopso. We are here to solve compliance issues for the GCC. We incorporated in Italy last year. We are opening a branch also in Luxembourg. We use AI and blockchain to help any financial institution to strengthen their anti-money laundering checks. Mopso offers two highly integrated products. One is for customer due diligence and the other is for transaction monitoring. As you already know, probably, AML and customer due diligence are a real pain for every financial institution. The first problem is with sanction. Only in Dubai, last year, 18 banks have been sanctioned by the institution. And then we have also a lot of cost coming from compliance, from 10 to 15 of the average overall cost. And also, probably one of the most important problems, friction with customers. 90% of UAE customers aren't satisfied of the onboarding procedure. So what we are doing, I'd like just to show you on the slide. We are working into different steps of the anti-money laundering processes. The first step is onboarding. We are optimizing your onboarding process. The second step is transaction monitoring, and we want to improve the way you are doing transaction monitoring. What are the benefits? The first benefit, we increase the customer base, reducing the friction. Of course, we will save a lot of cost, and we will mitigate sanction risk. How it is onboarding today? It is a mess. You have to take a lot of pictures of yourself, selfie picture of your credential, write on your KYC questionnaire. With Amulet, we will transfer all the already checked information of the customer, just scanning a QR code. It will take 3 seconds because we will rely on the new decentralized identity that is called self-sovereign identity. And with Brain, we integrate a huge amount of data from the bank and from external sources. And we make available the data through this visualization, helping understand the context of the transaction. We are not working on the transaction alone. We want to help the analysts understand what is happening, what are the connections, and if any of this connection is tricky. The market is interesting, even if it's crowded of competitors, of course, but at global level, we estimate 200,000 financial institutions with 60 billion of value. For the GCC, we estimate 200 million with 1.5 thousand real estate and financial institutions. Well, the business is clearly B2B. We have a subscription model in order to cover licenses, customization, and data enrichment. Traction is, I think, good so far. We have two paying customers. We won 2 public grants, one from European Commission, one from the government of Luxembourg. And we have 2 VC that are backing our seed round. As I was saying before, it is a crowded market. We have to fight with different competitors while we are better than them. The first classes of competitors, AML software specialists. We are connected to decentralized identity that is really coming. The EU Commission is proposing and launching the European Digital Identity Wallet in the coming years, 2023. For what it concerns the tech giant, we are really focused on AML. And for what concerns identity tech provider, we make KYC data reusable. You can share your data using this technology with different financial institutions. We will create an ecosystem without the need of a centralized KYC repository. This is the team. I am the CEO. I'm coming from 10 years of work at Bank of Italy. I've been an inspector. I have a direct knowledge of AML trouble. Then Enrico Fagnoni has a huge experience in semantic web technology. And we have also Veronica Seghezzi that is here on a GCC to help us scale in this market. We are right now 4 developers and 1 data analyst. Just to summarize, we are closing for the first customer in Europe. We would like to have our first customer next year, and you will see a really booming improvement in revenue when we will see the spread of self-sovereign identity. Yes, my last slide.
There in the
Thank
end.
you.
First of all, guys, a round of applause for Andrea and Mopso, please. It's not easy coming here and pitching, so I have a tremendous respect for what you guys do. Onward to the questions from the judges. Yeah, 4 minutes again.
This?
Is the mic switched on?
Can I leave it to you? Thank you.
Hello? There we go. Great pitch. Could you just talk a bit more about the external data sources that you use? One of the typical problems we have is almost too much information that we have to discount and therefore try to find out whether the customer is approved or not.
Absolutely. For what it concerns Brain, we can connect data from every data sources. The real improvement that we are able to provide is that we integrate this data inside our ontology, making it easier to understand what kind of data we are integrating and what kind of data sources we are using. We are, of course, using different data providers. We have global data providers that is one of our shareholders that is entering right now. So from a point of view of data, we have, of course, OFAC, sanction, or the scan that as typical. We connect also with Chamber of Commerce because we need to enrich sometimes data. Looking for updated data, for example, for ultimate beneficial owners or also for administrator or legal representative. I think that the best way to explain what we are doing with Brain is really we want to reduce the time that the analyst is spending in opening different windows, using different data sources, sometimes confounding the different sources. We use, of course, API. We move all the data inside a knowledge graph. That is a kind of database, non-relational database, that make it possible really to connect all the information in an easy way. And that is what we are doing, and it's proving really effectively because the analyst is saving a lot of time. Everything is on Brain, and if you want to take a detail on the node, on the customer, for example, you will see everything. All the risks that are on that, all the information that are connected.
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome.
Congratulations again on a great pitch. Great to see that the GCC is your second market. It would be great to understand why you selected that. And in your research, have you found that the digital infrastructure is of a level that allows you to operate your system here, or is there adaptation that's required?
Unfortunately, I haven't time to explain in the last slide. My fault. It's not my first language, but what I'm perceiving right now at GITEX is really that in the GCC, they are trying to do something very innovative. And they're trying to open new identity, digital identity. And with our solution, we can connect with different way of use digital identity and enriching the anonymographic data, the personal data of the customer with all the data that are important from the point of view of money laundering and money laundering risk. And so we are really perceiving that is a good region to start. Also because the countries are very fast in adopting new technology and very open to adopt new technology. And it's not always the case in Europe when you have a huge state taking 3 to 5 years to innovate, to launch new projects. That is probably the most important reason. I'm finding people as curious, as innovative as we are ourselves.
Great to hear.
Thank you.
We work really closely in the blockchain space, and with all these decentralized apps that are coming out there, when you talk to these financial institutions, have you seen an appetite for decentralized identity or DID, and if they want to bridge into this whole decentralized app world? And is that something that you're trying to solve?
Yeah. When I understand what they are doing, they are like, wow, that's amazing. I want it. Because seriously, also in Europe, we already have some digital identity coming from the government. But for example, I cannot use my digital identity from Italy to France. The new coming digital identities will be really at EU level. So to open a banking account in Luxembourg, I can use my digital Italian identity, and will save a lot of costs, make really the European market unique. And I think that's the approach I would like to share also with the GCC, make a common market and expanding the transaction between different countries. And yeah, sometimes the only difficult is to explain. And that's the reason why I have a very good demo. If you have time to come pass by, we are close. Because with the demo, 3 minutes, you really understand how fast it is, how effective it is, and the customer journey is absolutely easy.
Thank you so much, Andrea. I have to stop you there. But sure, go ahead, Laura.
Sorry. Yeah, I have just one more question about the GCC part, because, I mean, from my experience, the main issue we are facing here when you're doing KYC or AML is how you deal with PEP, because they obviously...
You deal with?
PEP.
PEP, okay. That's a big question. I couldn't explain, but with AMLET we have, of course, also manual analysis, and because we have a lot of false positive with PIP, and yeah, we created ourselves a way to handle it more effectively, because today banks are wasting all the time in doing this screening of false positive, and we are working on that with a specific solution that is called Factory that help dealing with PEP. The advantage of using our solution is that you will receive, as a bank, a PEP that has already been checked by ourselves, saving time on that. Thank you.
Laura.
Thank you.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you,
Andrea,
sir.
and again, like Andrea said, Mopso is right there on the corner. So do go out and check out them. Round of applause, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.